everybody? We're going to get started in just a second. Hey, what's up, everybody? My name is Alckemy. Welcome to the channel. Today, we're going to be getting down on some sound design and just making stuff as usual, trying to create a palette for a project that I'm wanting to work on. But before we do that, we do have a couple of everyday quick play spells to kind of get through, just a couple. If you are someone that, is struggling to make stuff, or you want, just a way to hold yourself accountable for submitting and making something in the DAW, then the quick play spells is a really awesome exercise that you can do for as long or as little as you want, to where you can submit up to 15 seconds of an idea or something that you worked on, and then have it played on the channel at the beginning of the next stream. So there are some people that come all the time and take advantage of it. Some people, will make some and then not make some, but it's just a resource that's available, and it's a cool way that I can showcase some of your work without, having either party have to do too much. One thing I will say is keep it to a minimum of 15 seconds. Make sure that it is safe for work, as some people listen to this stuff, at their job and all that other stuff. But yeah, let's get through these, and then I'll go on with talking about the other stuff that I wanted to say. Nice. That was crazy. It's really interesting percussive groove. Yeah, I guess it is 4/4, but I didn't catch it at first. Yeah, thanks for submitting, guys. Super sick. So aside from that, I've kind of just been trying to work on this EP, and I think one of the biggest things for me is trying to get the right sounds, the right aesthetic, the right story, and all that other stuff. But it's kind of just been, it's been a struggle, and this is kind of a painful track to write, so there is that. But I've been revisiting quite a lot of bass stuff as of late to try to, well, really just make my basses sound better. Something of particular interest that I did last night was something that sounds like this. And that sounds fucking sick. But yeah, we're gonna do a couple of those today and kind of just mess around and get some different ideas for stuff and kind of have a good time just making sounds. So if that seems interesting to you, I probably won't talk much. I don't have much to say today, but if anybody has any questions at any point in time, ask away. So in light of that, let's go ahead and start with the wavetable. I need a few more. I don't know, you could do more. I think that 4 oscillators is probably just fine, to be honest. Let's grab an envelope and set this here to like a hundo. And then I'm just going to create a routing chain on here. Cool. And we need some LFOs here. Kind of help us out with some of this stuff. There we go. All right, where is this going? Sounds clean, like some Aphex Twin kind of industrial sound. It's still at its beginning stages. Give me a little bit of time and let me develop it. But yeah, the process of it is usually pretty similar. Let's do a little bit of this. Super quiet though. I have both. It kind of is inconsequential to me. I kind of just do whatever I feel like. I will bust Serum 2 open here in a second, but do another one. And then actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and fix this first. So back off of that just a little bit. And now we can add another one in here. Okay, we're getting there. Sound pretty cool. Okay, so now what I'd like to do is give this just a little bit of this. Cool. So we're going to set this to change the timing of this now. Jesus, I'm sorry, there's something stuck. Allergies, allergies. Fucking hate them. Because they're allergies. I'm out of cheese. Allergies. So yeah, just kind of switching up the timing of some of this stuff is nice, because that way I'm not going to get the same thing every time. That's pretty cool. Let's go for a phaser. Okay, I'm going to add one more here. And what I want this to be, I think, is evolving. Be FM. Modulators. Yeah, bend soft. And I like this a lot because this will kind of add a little bit more movement to this. And so we can kind of just set that on the main one here, which I believe is this last one. But you'll start to see that this stuff will push itself together. That sounds pretty sick. And then what I'm going to try to do is push this up a little bit higher, and just kind of, I don't know why, but the scaling of the slice EQs on here are always really strange because like I have to keep pushing them up and up and up and up to get to the maximum. It's kind of annoying, but whatever. Yeah, we're getting like some really cool like donks and stuff now. Okay, so now let's build the second phase of this, which is going to be more filtering stuff. This is just kind of how I like to do it, or what I've started doing recently, but you can obviously do whatever you want. It doesn't matter. Will I do sound design only today? I want to see production process, melody making. Hi there. No, I mean, but I have plenty of streams of me writing. Actually, just about every single track that I've written has been done on stream. So you can just go to my past broadcasts, and if it says working on a tune or something, you can check into that, because I generally do just about every single track from scratch on YouTube. But yeah, today's kind of a sound design day. Unless if I have like a really compelling idea that I want to start writing and start moving to. I'm trying to do my best to separate them. That sounds sick. Is there a way that I can... There we go. That sounds awesome. I'm going to try going back to basic shapes. Let's see if this helps out at all. Cool. Sick. Okay, so I want to go back and make this a little bit slower now. Let's see if I can make some more evolving sounds slowly over time. And then obviously this is kind of a lot. So we're going to change this to something a little bit smaller. Sorry. One, two, three. Okay, so we're going to back off of this now. Maybe send this a bit into this one. And then just try a different FM source. So maybe this guy. Let's see if we can get these to talk to each other in a different way. In a more clean way, rather. There we go. Okay, let's see what that sounds like now. That's pretty cool.
Recording to logbook.
Hey, thanks for the follow, famous Army Studio. Let's go here, smooth interpolation. Just love when it does that for no reason. God. Yeah, Serum's filters are not the funnest to work with. Okay, so I'm realizing now that this needs to go from up and down, not left to right. Oh, now it's... No. Like, how do you get from this to... It's so stupid. Okay, that's what I'm looking for. Jesus, dude. Let's go notch. Let's go phaser. Hey, David, what's up, bro? Distortion. Maybe a little bit of downsample. Hey, glad you made it. Kind of just chilling today, but it's like stuck. That's annoying. Let's do this and make this move in the opposite direction. Why does it? Interesting. What is that from? Oh, from that. Okay. Okay. So now I want to see if there's a way that I can maybe introduce just some other cool movement to this. Definitely, definitely a silly Skrillex sound. That's pretty funny. Let's add some hyperdimension to this. See if we can give it that. Yep, there we go. How can I become an Arcane member? If in the stream there's a thing that says join, and then you'll have your tier list for stuff. But you can, subscribe for a month and then binge all the courses if you want, and then unsubscribe or whatever. It's all there. What I wanted to do with this though was I want to see if I can take like this idea and turn it into like a crazy neuro sound. I'll just do it from scratch. So let's go into some bandpass. And I think like another, well, I don't want to overthink it, but another piece of this puzzle is I feel like I'm going to need to pit this against itself to get, I want some kind of movement with this. Can I just save this as renda? And then come in here and go multi-sample. I guess what I could do is just turn this off. Go save. We'll call this hyper chorus or hyper growl, because that's kind of what this is if you've seen anything from AE5. And then just go initialize. And then we can go to sample, pull this in here. Pull the width down. Come back into here. Hyper growl. Normalize. That sounds a little bit ridiculous, doesn't it? So maybe something else we could try is... I wish there was a way to select all these and just turn them off, but it doesn't really seem like there is. So we'll go back to init. Turn this back off, turn this on, and let's see if we can detune these to give us a little bit of a different flavor. Okay. All right, let's try this, where we do like 7. That's pretty cool. Not what I'm looking for, but pretty sick. That's hello 2010. Still a cool sound, but not quite. Just, I don't really know how to get what I want out of this. So whatever, we'll just continue and see if I can keep processing this. That sounds hella Skrillex to me. Like old Skrillex though. Shout out to AU5 for actually finally putting that info out on the map. Like I've been able to make lots of growls and stuff, but they never sounded quite as clean as that. And the trick to it is honestly just bend plus and minus waveforms along with the processing that I know how to do, which is like this stuff, the vocal stuff and all that. But even still, I'm just trying to figure out if there's other things that I can do to this to make it more. I have one more idea that I can try that I will in just a second, but let me get through this stuff first and see what we can do with it. This way, please. Thank you. How are you all? How's life? Thanks for showing up today and coming to kick it with me. I really appreciate it. So I'm going to save this as default. And I want to see if I pull this up, if that range is going to be there again. No, it's not. Spectrum, oversample, auto. Is this what I want here? Zoom with mouse wheel by clicking and dragging, double click to reset. I guess there's no way to like permanently set this, unfortunately, where I would like it to, because that way I can actually manipulate this in the way that needs to be. But a lot of times I have a lot of complaints because the scaling on these EQs are so like subtle, like 6 dBs, where a lot of times I really need this to be like huge. There we go. And if you do that, then it helps a lot with pulling out those resonances to send through stuff like your phasers and chorus and all that. So just food for thought. And if anybody has any questions from now until whatever it is that I'm doing, feel free to just jump in and ask. I do like my questions. I like my questions. I did not mean to do that. This after the live room, something like that. Let's just mark this to something. It doesn't really even matter. I think that made it more. Made it more phasey for sure, but not really in the way that I want it to be. Because like without this processing chain, it's pretty clean. And that's not really what I'm looking for either. Okay, let's try this. So let's set this to FM from A. Let's set this to here, turn this down. And then let's play with this on a different, like maybe an octave up, and see what will happen if I start to push this a little harder. Nothing. Ow. Nothing extraordinary. Okay, well, what happens if I mix the signal in of another sound very subtly into this and start to mess with the dry wet to push into that. So let's go FM from sub. Something kind of like that, because that helps kind of round the sound out a little bit more. That's interesting. Yeah, it seems like nothing really sounds as good as any of that stuff that we did. That phrase in its own right is just like the cleanest that we can get, so kind of just save this in here and recall upon it later or something like that. But I mean, really with almost nothing, well, I don't want to say almost nothing, we got that kind of cool bass classic dubstep sound, but I'm not really into this kind of sound, so I'm kind of curious as to like what else I can do with it. Yeah, that's kind of the thing is I'm trying to find a middle ground of these talking basses, but with more neuro stuff, and trying to get something that's a little bit more aggressive, if you will. I think that getting this is actually a lot easier to do in this synth than it is in Phase Plant, but with some of these things, like this is just, yeah. Yeah, so let's come back over here. Let's do some more play. Let's get some wavetables in here. Did I ever check out AU5's remix of Ghost Named Charlie? No. I'm not I'm actually not really into AU5's music all that much. I've got some stuff from him that I really like, but for the most part, I'm just kind of like, it's not really my cup of tea. That doesn't take away from, how good he is or how, how insane of a producer I think, he's shown himself to be, but just from a personal preference, I'm just kind of like, it's okay. Not really my thing. All right, do all of these have maybe another one here? Just different levels to play with, and that's really the key to this stuff is to it's OG growly stuff like I'm messing with. Yeah, I'm not really into that kind of sound, to be honest. That's just what came out. I'm trying to, I'm not wanting to make this sound for the sake of making this sound. I wanted to make it to learn from it and understand what makes this do what it does and what are the key components to it. But what I've learned is that it uh, comes into like wavetable stuff really, because even without all of this stuff, if I change this, turn this off, turn all this other stuff off, the initial waveform of this is there, right? Even with these two elements. So this and this are kind of like the major players in making that kind of sound. And so I'm taking inspiration from that and working on making different kinds of phrases here to see what else I can do with it. And something else that I could try for fun. I don't know if that makes sense or not, but that's kind of where my headspace is at. Is we could do a lot of different stuff kind of like this and just create some of these guys. It's not as elegant, but what we can do is go boom, 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 boom. And so now these are kind of but they don't really seem as dramatic as I would want them to be, you know? Like if you look at this, it's kind of like, it's cool, but it's not really. Because I think that, yeah, you can only push this up to 12 dB, whereas I think on the slice EQ, how high does this go? $16 decibels. Yeah, this goes all the way up to 30 decibels. So this is probably not the way to do that. There are parts of the song where the basses are exposed. Could be a good reference to see what's going on. I could, but I mean, I'm kind of content with what I'm doing right now. Oh, that's interesting. right, so that might be kind of cool. Set that to 100. So now we kind of just want to create some delays. Turn this down, turn this down. Kind of sprinkle this around in certain areas. Maybe even do some convolution. Just a little bit. Something like that. So even with this, right, like this doesn't give us that like hyper chorus or whatever, but the bend minus that this is doing to the saw wave is very similar. Interesting. Mm-hmm. Do 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 do. That's pretty cool. Okay, let's see if we can push this further. Maybe the notch somewhere around here. There we go. Sure. Sure. Indubitably. That sounds fucking sick. That's so dope. Wow. What does it sound like with just this? Okay, good to know. Interesting. It'd probably be easier to just do with a pitch bend myself, to be honest, but okay. Yeah, I don't know. I think they sound cool, but they don't really feel that usable. They don't really have like that. They don't really have that aggressive kind of just vocal phrase that I'm looking for. They sound vocal, don't get me wrong, but they don't sound like the kind of vocal that I'm looking for. But the textures on that are fucking sick. They kind of have those like strange side plucks with the little like with the little transients. It's whatever this and I think maybe this is doing. Maybe even this, I don't know. But that's pretty cool. Okay. What am I talking about? That's sick as fuck. Yeah, like just by itself, but it doesn't really sound. It's still not what I'm looking for. Pretty neat though. So Oh. Yeah, the little plucky bits are pretty cool. Mm. Sorry, I'm just kind of experimenting and seeing if there's something that I can hear within this. Let's go ahead and do this. Oh. That's not what I wanted to do. That's what I wanted to do. Maybe a third LFO. Yeah, that seems a little bit closer to what I'm looking for. That vowel sound like that has that is pretty nice. You hear how it has that wall? It's kind of closer to what I'm looking for, I think. Maybe. Probably not, but trying to make that phrase a little bit more clear is kind of what the goal is of this. Um, We're going to need some reverb on this here in a minute, but I'm trying to make this sound really low and really menacing. And just make it just pissed off. I wonder if I can add some other kind of distortion under this that will... Yeah. It's close, but not quite where I want it to be. Yeah, it's like... I just need that to be more aggressive. But it needs to be aggressive in like a way that like what I want to do with this is make it sound like it's being spoken from the chest. I don't know if that makes sense or not. But there needs to be that like that kind of thing to it that I'm trying to figure out how to put together. The beginning of it sounds really good. That. So maybe a fast LFO. Yeah. And some kind of saturator. Some kind of convolution. This shit is so tedious. But how else are we going to learn other than sitting down and trying to listen to this dumb shit and be like, okay, what's going on? I usually start with this side first, but whatever. Get some wonky spikes and resonances. See if we can get something interesting out of that. There is something in my eye, and it is annoying the shit out of me. Hold on one sec. Ah. Okay. Interesting. No, see that just, if you distort it too much, it just becomes a resonance, and that's why making these kinds of sounds are so annoying. So fucking annoying. Okay, I need this to sound a little bit dirtier. No. That helps. Okay. Maybe I can make this go downward. Yeah, it's just so specific. Like, that's pretty cool. Like so it's so close, but it's not. But it's like the crazy thing about this is like how little of these adjustments I'm making and like how big of a difference it's panning out. It's just like fuck, man. So frustrating. Like that's probably the closest I can get, to be honest. I wonder if maybe I can add some other stuff to this, like yeah, I don't know. I do not know, to be honest. Does this have symmetry, tilt EQ, power sync, comb filter, frame blend, automatic EQ? I don't know. Let's just see what we can do with this. Effects, automatic EQ. Over here. Pull off of this. Adjust the bandwidth. It could also be helpful if I actually look at the waveform. Start kind of simple. Pick that up. Come over here. No. Something kind of like that. Then maybe we can do phase rotate, phase offset. Just make it a wonky ass waveform. Kind of like that. Sometimes, not always, but sometimes this can do some cool shit. Uh, yeah, it's close. If anybody's heard that song by Disprove, um, Oppression, it's such a cool tune. But he actually has a chorus where he goes over like redoing or like remixing that song, but he never talks about any of his bass design, and that drives me crazy. I hate when people have a master class and they don't talk about shit like that. It's like, come on, man. Throw me a bone. Throw me a bone here. I'm gonna turn this down. Corey is asleep behind me. Okay. I'm ready for something a little different now. There was something that I wanted to pull up from here that. Here we go. FM from B, band pass. I guess I just had a different. Hey, New Macron, what's up? I really want this to be like super. Well, maybe I'll try that. I really like that. What the fuck is that? Yeah, that's kind of what I'm making. Just atmospheric things. Thanks, man. I try. there not a unison mode on this? Voice mode independent? That's interesting. That suggestive nature is really cool. That's pretty cool. Why does it do that? That's so nice. So nice. Is does anybody have any questions about anything? What did you say? I don't think we do. But we have chips and stuff. And we have ice cream.
Recording to logbook.
Hey, thanks, NK, or Zoinks. Oh, shit. That's an incredible name. Wow. That's so crazy. It sounds like the crows from Ocarina of Time. But the way that that repeats itself is just that's so evil. That's awesome. I'm gonna save that one. Most of the time, like if I'm ever making patches and stuff, I do it by hand. But I love just spending time and getting lost in the random generative stuff because you get shit like that, and I'm just like, wow, that's fucking cool. And then sending saw waves through a shit ton of distortion and reverb, kind of like this, is always really nice too, because you get those cinematic, atonal, you know, whatever this is. That was cool. Wow. That's also really cool. That was sick. That was cool. Um, yeah, I forgot there was something else I was gonna do. Let's try the concatenator. Mm, So many samples. About your perfume. Yeah, I guess it's true. So many samples. Huh? What? What? I can be. Do you like my Sean Connery voice? That's cool. The way that the concatenator like throws bass phrases together is so cool. Like that's sick. Yeah, that's really awesome. The little snare is pretty funny. Wow. Crazy. love this stuff. It's just like really cool reverberated hits that I'll never use. Yeah, the concatenator is pretty wild. It doesn't really give you anything that's like, I think, that's going to help you start a song. But it is cool in the way that it will give you some phrases for fills and stuff. Like all this stuff are really cool glitch fills that like I have to do zero automation for. You know? But it's cool because like to me a lot of these glitches and stuff also feel like someone is tuning a radio. Moving the dial. And sometimes it's cool bass stuff. Sometimes it's not. But it would be cool if there was a way to get stuff out of this for like just phrase interactions. Like I don't know, I've experimented with a couple of things of like putting a melody over this. You know, just something simple like that. You calling me basic? You calling me a basic batch?
No, I was calling a thing.
You batch? How dare you? Some of that stuff in there is cool. I mean, I guess if you have the wherewithal to like cut it up and put some of it together, there's a couple of interactions in here that are like, oh wow. No. I know. Like that little thing was cool. Yeah, it gets a little exhausting. Does anybody have any questions about anything? We're kind of stepping into May, and May is when my channel just absolutely dies for 6 months. So now is a good time to, I guess, rather, if anybody is interested in taking lessons and stuff, like I'm gonna have a lot of free time over the summer. What? You talking shit over there? No. Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. Lord and Savior, the cheesiest of cheese. Yeah. Oh, thank you. Well, I guess everybody's leaving, so I'll leave too. But much love. Thanks for hanging out with me today. I think that we made some kick-ass sounds, even though I didn't do much production. It's all right. We'll be back Friday. Kind of just doing some more tomfoolery. And I don't know, maybe I'll be motivated to actually write something. But thanks everybody. Appreciate you hanging with me today. If you could like the video, that'd be awesome. I just put out a recent course for Serum on drum design, which is pretty affordable. It's $40. Grab a lesson with me. I don't know. Hang out with me. Come kick it on the Discord. Let's do it up. Summer's coming. Just signed up for the masterclass. Freaking amazing. Yo, thank you so much, man. There's a lot of masterclasses, so watch all of them, and and also if you have stuff that you don't like, I would I would like to know as well, or if there's stuff that you would like to see from me in the future. A lot of times I don't get product feedback, and it's kind of hard to know what you all want when people don't say anything, but I guess no news is good news. Yeah. Make sure you join the Discord though if you've done all that, so that way you can get access to all the presets and stuff that's in the Arcanum section, okay? But aside from that, much love, guys. I will see you all on Friday. Bye, everyone. Goodbye. It's dinner time.